Brodes Media.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Before we attack this 2-0 win and some of the other dilemmas behind this Phillies team right now, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash the hell out of that subscribe button. And also, hit that like button too. It would really mean the world to me, and I appreciate all the love and support that each and every one of you show daily as we react to Philadelphia sports. Also, every Wednesday on my Twitter, at Brodes81, I run a giveaway. If you're listening to this in time, I am currently running a Ben Simmons City Edition jersey giveaway. And then Wednesday morning, a new one is available. We're also going to be giving away a new jersey that you are going to want to see. I will not tell you who that is. This is a tease, but be engaged at Brodes81, pinned to the top of my profile. It's a no-brainer. Do not be a fool. Get yourself a chance to win. Other than that, let's have some fun and let's talk about the Phils. Enjoy the show. What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. It's been a few days since I last assessed and analyzed the Phillies, so we have so much to get into. Where I want to begin, it was a nice win for the Phillies. They win 2-0, only 2 hits. Rhys Hoskins, a beautiful at-bat. Vince Velasquez, 6 innings, another great day at the office. But I do want to start with the Bryce Harper situation going to the IL, because this organization has flat-out botched so many scenarios very similar to this one. Whether it's JT Realmuto, Didi Gregorius, or now your $330 million man, I don't know where the confusion is. I don't know where the lack of understanding the IL is. This goes way above Joe Girardi. This is a franchise organizational failure when you are constantly throwing Bryce Harper out there. Now, the problem is we're never going to know context. Is Bryce saying he's okay? Is Bryce saying he's willing to compete? And even if he is, why isn't there someone within this organization going, dude, you are in a lot of pain. You have severe problems happening right now. Let's cool the jets. There's a reason why guys are challenging Bryce Harper with fastballs right down the middle of the pipe. That does not happen. You do not do that. You only do that if you know something is wrong with Bryce Harper. So everyone knows, except for the franchise that he plays for, who keeps trotting him out there. Look, he gets drilled with a 97-mile-per-hour pitch. We think the face is going to be the worst damage. It ends up being the wrist. Now there's a sore shoulder involved. And the back injuries that continue to linger throughout the last couple of years or so is in play as well. No shit. When you have one problem and you try and play still, you're now favoring other parts of your body, and then it's going to be a collective issue where maybe it's 3 or 4 things causing you pain instead of just one. I don't know who to blame. Bryce Harper, I'm sure, is saying, I want to play and I want to compete. We just talked about how in the beginning he had that one day off, and he made a statement recognizing that I'm older now. I'm in a different part of my career. I'm not 22. I'm not 23. So he acknowledged that there had to be change. Is this a scenario where he didn't realize that because he thought, look, I'm a younger guy. I just want to play. I want to help out my team. Our team is battling in a very terrible division where no one's truly running away with this thing. So I need to stay active so I can put this team in the best position to succeed. But you're not. And when you're swinging and missing and striking out at this elite rate, I think it's pretty clear. We see the correlation. You are not your best. You are not in the best form that you need to be. You can't give us a version, a competent version. You can't give us just the low of the low version that makes it worth having you in the lineup. You're also failing in the field as well. So even if he wants to force it and he wants to show his teammates that I am someone who is on the field as much as humanly possible, even when you are activated, you're not giving us results that mean winning baseball. So is it even worth it? And the answer is no. So if you want to blame Joe, I don't know if this is necessarily a Joe thing. I hate how Joe's handled this. I think media-wise, it's been a disaster. And I go back to, I don't know if this is Joe fully giving us 100% what he feels, or if he is informed by John Middleton or anybody else upstairs to come out with these answers, because they are a flat-out joke. He just said to all the media members and all the fans listening to him after the game on NBC Sports Philadelphia during the broadcast that there's no injury. We're just waiting for him, giving him a day off. We're just giving him a day off. You're lying. You're literally lying. Why don't you admit, yeah, he's playing banged up? He's our leader. He's Bryce Harper. He's not 100%. A lot of guys aren't 100% once you start rolling into the season. So, yeah, there's some nicks and bruises along the way, but he's Bryce Harper and he's battling through. And then then we'll probably, I'm sure we would still have opinions on that. Sort of like, is it worth it? Let's play the pros and cons. Let's weigh out the options. If he's giving you this type of performance, is it worth even putting his name on the lineup card and him being logged in at right field? Or should they put someone else in there, whether it's Matt Joyce or anybody else that you have instead of him, just until he gets healthy? We'll criticize that, and we sure will have our opinions, but it's better than lying to our faces. So here's what Joe Girardi said about the IL stint that Bryce Harper went on and why he lied and everything involved.
Any of us asked whether he was available or not to tip your hand. I'm just wondering why there was this whole dance around whether
you asked about his shoulder, and I responded about his shoulder. And
so,
again, there's a distinct advantage if I tell you a guy's wrist is hurt to the other manager. And the idea here is to win games. It's kind of like me telling you who's available in the bullpen and not available. I don't like doing that because I don't want Donnie to know who I might use or not use. And I understand you want to know, but there are distinct advantages that I can give another club if they know everything that's going on over here. So I'm sorry that I had to do that, but we're trying to win games. And he's just not ready to go. I thought he'd be ready on Monday or Tuesday. He's not, so we decided to IL him.
Joe, your $330 million superstar who is striking out at his worst clip of his entire career, who is playing horrendous baseball. And it makes sense. It makes sense. This isn't shocking. For anyone who says Bryce Harper sucks, Bryce Harper blows, Bryce Harper is a bad baseball player, I want to know who can perform at a high clip, at a really high level when they're playing through this. It's so obvious that he's not healthy. He's out there. He's not healthy. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense why you're seeing him strike out. And the fact that this team has him swinging the bat with bases loaded in big moments when he has no shoulder, where his forearm is in pain, where everything is causing him issues, that's embarrassing. That's a poorly ran organization. And it's obvious when you see that it relates to all the losses that they have on their franchise record. And we talk about how long it's been since we've seen playoff baseball because of all these decisions that this franchise consistently makes. I cannot believe that a few games ago, I guess it was a couple weeks ago or so now, whenever that Toronto Blue Jays series was, and whenever he's up to bat with bases loaded and we're looking for this game-changing play out of a dude that could barely swing a baseball bat, yet he is, and he's giving, I'm not going to say 100%, but he's giving 100% of whatever he has, whether that's 65, 68%, and he's getting bashed, and he's getting ripped. The dude barely has anything in the tank. If you think Bryce Harper stinks because of this recent stretch he's been on, well, yeah, now you know why. Now you understand why. He doesn't suck. First off, if you think he sucks, you don't know baseball, but it's just frustrating. It really is. The fact that Joe Girardi thinks telling the media about Jose Alvarado's availability or Connor Brogdon's availability or Archie Bradley's availability is the same thing as, can Bryce Harper play? Is he injured? Is he not injured? You need to tell the fan base what's going on here. We're asking about Bryce fucking Harper, and we're trying to get answers as my man gets drilled and with 97, and we have all these questions, and you're not telling us the truth. You can dance around. You can flirt around. I know that's the nature of the business. I've been around a long time here listening to all these managers speak, all these coaches speak. You can definitely twist an answer the way you want it to be twisted and dance around. The flat-out disgraceful look in the eyes and say he's not hurt or he's not in pain or anything revolving around him being okay, he just needs a day off. That's not the case. Oh, I think he could go Monday. I think he could go Tuesday. Oh, you know what? I think a 10-day IL situation's better. That is a monstrous difference. And I expected better out of Joe Girardi, which makes me feel that Joe Girardi might be sitting in that chair going, what did I get myself into? How much is ran upstairs that blows this thing way out of proportion? Where Joe's goes, really? I signed up for this? I got to work with these clowns? I got to work with John Middleton? I got to work with this crew? This garbage crew? Because I'm stunned, absolutely stunned with this Joe Girardi debacle that we have happened, or that we are seeing, and that has happened so far this season with some moves. I don't rip him as much as others, but with some moves, but more the relationship here with the fan base, the relationship with the media, him going snippy at Jim Salisbury. Is that a product of feeling internally beat down? Sort of like when Doug Peterson left, it was a fresh air system going on for Doug Peterson. He was happy to not see Howie Roseman. He was happy to not see the owner in Jeffrey Lurie. And you could sense sometimes something was off. Something wasn't right with Doug Peterson when he was talking to the media after the game, and we would say, what is going on here? Why is this his answer? It made no sense. Now we know, because Jeffrey Lurie would hold meetings with them. They would win a game. Why did you do this? Even though you won, I don't care that we won. It wasn't the way that I liked. It wasn't the way that I preferred it. And now Doug has to stand in front of the media and answer all these questions. Is there something happening with Joe Girardi right now where he's being forced to say certain things that he might necessarily agree with, and people in the front office is weighing him down? I don't know. But if you look at the history of Joe Girardi, everything about him, it just doesn't seem like we're getting the version of Joe Girardi that makes the most sense. And why is that? This franchise has been a piss poor mess for so long, and there's been a common denominator. Is there something with John Middleton that is flat out the reason why we're sitting here today screaming about this? I think it's very possible. They butchered the IL stint with JT Realmuto big time, Didi Gregorius big time. They can't even properly hold down a system of moving players in the right direction, and that eats me alive. So as I said, there were a couple things I haven't touched on yet. I'm not going to dive too deep into the Zach Wheeler game against Boston, but they salvaged the series. Zach Wheeler was phenomenal. If you look at the Boston Red Sox lineup in Game 3, which was that Sunday afternoon, the same time as the Sixers game, they didn't have all their players. They didn't have all their top dogs in the lineup. It wouldn't have mattered anyway because Zach Wheeler was in one. Zach Wheeler was dialed in, and he's just been very consistent, delivering you very fast command, hard command, beautiful off-speed pitches. When Zach Wheeler is in a groove, it's must-watch television, and it sucks that game happened to be on when the Sixers won, because I'm sure a lot of this city, someone had that as background noise or muted or casual check-in on commercial breaks. However you go about having your two TV set up or your two games, however you go about your business, I'm sure that wasn't getting heavily watched, but yeah, Zach Wheeler, they salvaged the series. That homestand was pitiful. They followed that up with a Game 1 loss. The final was 9-6. It felt like 3,000-2. So the final score did not tell the full story. And what do you know? Defensive woes became a problem. Torreyes makes a mistake. It keeps innings alive. It allows the Marlins to get more opportunities. Odubel Herrera misplays a ball out in center field. That allows base runners to go from get to third base. Here comes a huge bomb. Blow the game wide open. Kinsler. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. And even though they had the lead a couple times, well, here's the thing. They did get the lead. The one positive out of Game 1 of this Marlins series was you noticed that this team was doing something different to generate offense. This team cannot score. They cannot produce a lot of runs. So they were putting guys in motion. They were stealing the bags. They were stealing the bases. They were getting in scoring position, whether it was Brad Miller. I think the other one was Gene Segura, who got on and started to run a bit and get on base there, or get to second base, I should say, just utilizing his legs. Get guys in motions. Try hitting runs. Try stealing bases, because you're not getting those timely hits in order, and you're not stringing together multiple hits in one inning. So you need to get more runs scored. So that's their positive. I did think the Phillies had many chances to make the Marlins pay for a mistake they made, and they weren't cashing in. And eventually, the Marlins blew it out of the water, and it felt like a beatdown. So don't be fooled by a 9-6 score. In terms of Zach Eflin, he continues to give you 6 innings or so. I really don't have a full-on complaint about Zach Eflin. I'm not telling you it was one of his most dominant performances, but I do think that he did enough for the most part. I know that there were some leads for the Phillies and all, but if I look at that game, I don't think it was. You know what happened to you? Zach Eflin happened to you. Zach Eflin costed you the game, or Zach Eflin wasn't perfect enough, or Zach Eflin wasn't strong in certain areas. Once again, not the most explosive Zach Eflin performance, but not the reason why they lost either. This Marlins team, I thought Crucky said it best. And once again, specifically after game one, this Marlins team knows that they can wax the Phillies' ass. When the Phillies are in town and when they go to Philadelphia, they have so much confidence and so much poise in their play where they feel we are going to annihilate this team. They can't say that about every organization, and the numbers will tell you just that. So moving on to game two here, where the Phillies just won 2-0. 2 hits, a beautiful at-bat by Rhys Hoskins. Funny, looking at the lineup, though, you're thinking this is going to be terrible. This is going to be a nightmare. Odubel Herrera, who's been hot. There's no denying that he has been giving you a spark on offense. You don't look at center field as an issue anymore. It has been filled by a player that knows how to play at the major league level, unlike many other options we were forced to witness earlier in the season. He did break his streak today, though, with a bunch of groundouts, but ultimately, Odubel Herrera has been a strong addition to your team. But when you see him leading off, you go from you don't know if this player's ever going to play in the Phillies organization again to is he ever going to get caught up from the minors to he's now your leadoff batter. It just shows you how far they have really come with this disaster of a lineup, even though they won tonight. Odubel, Segura, Miller, who has been hitting some home runs as of late. Rhys Hoskins batting in the 4th spot. Alec Boehm, Matt Joyce, Andrew Knapp, and Nick Maton. Now, Napper, you saw in game 1 of this series, he went 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. He went 0 for again today. He's batting 156 or so. Zach Wheeler. Remember when Zach Wheeler told us that this guy was an everyday starter in Major League Baseball? No, he's not, Zach. No, he's not. This is the perfect example of giving a role player more time. Random days here and there and getting some time behind the plate and working behind JT Realmuto. Yes. That's fine. That's okay. You start giving him all these minutes, you see Andrew Knapp, okay? So before, I know we have fun with it. I get it. It's fun. But before we go too far and too extreme with this whole Andrew Knapp fun and explosion, let's be realistic. My man's hitting 156. So let's cool down the jets. And we're starting to see, the realization of it all. For everyone that goes, oh, we were so wrong about Knapp. No, we weren't. We weren't wrong about Andrew Knapp. We were not wrong about Knapp. All right, my man's hitting 156. It's a joke. Okay, so Vinny V, he gives you 6 innings, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 hits, 5 Ks. Love the curveball. Curveball electric, really throwing it beautifully. And it seems like there's more calming presence involved with Vinny V. He did give a nice some gestures towards the crowd and all, which shows that he's got that edge, and he always kind of had that edge. I always liked the approach of Vince Velasquez. I never questioned or wondered about how he was upstairs mentally with the game because he's pretty open about it. When he talks to the media, he keeps it 100. He tells you how it is. He doesn't beat around the bush. He doesn't try and maneuver around some questions. He either says, I sucked and I need to be better and I know my chances are limited, or I loved what I did out there. He keeps it pretty 100 for sure. So I never really questioned the way that he attacked the game, but it's nice to see him with this swagger do it because it adds another layer to it. Vince Velasquez has been phenomenal. You look at his ERA, you look at his last 6 starts, his last appearances, it's been ridiculous. And the fact that he can do it with players on base, he doesn't get overwhelmed. He doesn't get nervous. He doesn't speed up too much. He keeps it the pace, or doesn't slow down too much. He keeps the pace the way it needs to be. He looks comfortable. He doesn't think too much. He's not overstressing. And we talk about the new addition of Cotham and what he's able to do with some of these pitchers. And I think you're seeing the results of Caleb, not even just outside of the game, but it's crazy how many times I could pinpoint a situation where a pitcher was maybe in a jam and Caleb walks up to the mound, makes sure everything is smooth, goes back to the dugout, and then that pitcher has that calming feeling and he delivers. I mean, it's happened multiple times this season for multiple different pitchers where there's clearly something happening involved with the conversation, with the dialogue, with the feel-out process, with the buy-in factor. It seems these pitchers are bought into what Caleb is selling, and that's monstrous for sure. So he got out of one bases loaded jam. He did have a couple walks in his 6 innings, but the fact that we're consistently seeing 6 innings, Vinny V, we're watching him use the electric fastball. He's throwing the curveball for strikes. The sequences are amazing. Just not overthinking and feeling out the process the way that he needs to. Very, very, very strong from Vinny V. On the other side, I always say Alcantara. Always. I think I said this the last time the Marlins ended up playing the Phillies. I said Alcantara. Wait. See, now I'm getting confused again. I normally say Alcantara is what I normally say. Alcantara. Regardless, 8 innings. Amazing. 2 earned runs, which is the deadly damage of it all. 2 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. The fact that he gives you 8 innings, though, he was ridiculous. He's a hell of a pitcher. I talked about this prior. He did have one game against the Dodgers that really inflates his numbers, where he went somewhere around 1 1/3 off the top of my head. It was a very weak performance, and after that, and even before that, he's been able to throw the baseball very well. So if you just look at his numbers, it seems a lot worse than what he's really thrown this season. He's a dog. He really is. He's a dog, and he can do it for sure. Now, going to Rhys Hoskins at bat, the fact that he fell behind and waited for his pitch, and he just fouled pitches off, or he waited to do what he needed to do, which was wait for the mistake to happen. Stay involved, stay engaged. And when that mistake happened, he drove it big time. And you could tell by the reaction how fired up he was. Dropped an F-bomb, screamed real loud. The microphone picked it up, pouring of emotion. It's a big hit. You know, you take the lead. It's a monster hit. You get your bullpen some help. And by the way, the bullpen, awesome job. We go from your starter and Vince Velasquez to Girardi, worked a little bit, but Coonrod, Jose Alvarado, Hector Neris. Are those your 3 guns? Are those your 3 reliable guys? I mean, there is also Archie Bradley in the mix who was not utilized. That might be a name that I throw in there as well. But it did seem like Joe Girardi was making that move and trying to make a statement of, we're going to get this win. This is a very big win. You watch the Braves climb up. The Mets are what they are. You just see where the division is at this very moment, and you got to stay involved. You got to keep your head there. You can't slip too much. This was a big series, and this is still. There's still 2 more games to go, and Aaron Nola's on the mound, and he's going to really have to show this fan base that he can work himself out of this jam that he is in, because it's not been even close to successful over the last handful of starts, where his ERA is just under 7 in his last 3 starts. Like, that has to change. That needs to be different. Where I was going with that is, you know, if you lost 3 games of this 4-game set against the Miami Marlins, or, you know, if you drop, well, you're not going to lose all 4. 2-2 won't be as bad, but, you know, hypothetically, if you lost 3, you're talking more Washington Nationals territory than you are 2nd, 3rd territory, and, you know, that's a bad spot to be into, and if you let it slip way too quickly here to start the season, you could be doomed for a long time. So I love the way that Rhys Hoskins approached that at-bat for the home run. It was ridiculous. I do want to touch on one player for the Marlins that I thought made some mistakes, even though the box score won't say that. First, DeSimone Jewelers. They are the best in the business. I went to them for my fiance's engagement ring. I went back for Christmas. I got her an outstanding necklace. And I went back for her birthday, where I got these beautiful, beautiful earrings. They are the best in class. I'll tell you what, DeSimone Jewelers, they're a family-owned business for over 40 years of experience. They were located in Jewelers Row, now in Haddonfield, New Jersey. No sale tactics. They just educate you, and they treat you like family. They customize and manufacture their engagement rings right there on location. And because of that, they really do compete. And they really do beat all of the competitors' prices out there. It's a no-brainer. I've sent family members there. I've sent all sorts of friends in their direction, and I get the same words back every time. Brodes, you're a genius. Thank you for sending me in their direction. Life-changing. And you'll know exactly what I mean. It's a family-like atmosphere. It's so great. It really is. DeSimone Jewelers. Information is all down below in the description. All right, so I thought Jazz made some mistakes. Box score won't tell you that, but on the base paths, he might have got unlucky, and it might have been unfortunate for him with that second call, but you can't You cannot. Let me say this again. You cannot, can't. You will not, shall not, you better not. You don't. It is a rule of baseball. Make the third out at third base. He's stealing on Andrew Knapp. Alec Boehm applied a perfect tackle. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? With one of your best hitters up who can rake RBIs in and knock in so many damn runs. You're at second base. And oh, by the way, if you didn't know, you can run. We know that you have speed. If you get a simple hit, you could probably score a damn run. Why are you making that third out at third base? That is a brutal play. You even saw him getting yelled at in the dugout afterwards. Not happy at all with his player. Then later on, he ends up smoking one out into the outfield. Odubel Herrera gets the ball, throws it in. Jazz did stumble coming around first base. And to be fair, I think he beat the tag anyway. It did seem like he maneuvered himself and maneuvered his hands around the tag. They went back to the replay booth and they caught it pretty damn quickly that he was out. And his facial expression was in disgust and in awe and so shocked. I was shocked as well. But two costly mistakes on the base paths. Once again, was the second one technically a mistake or just a bad call? I probably lean towards saying it was a bad call, but ultimately you slip, you put yourself in that position. Maybe you recognize you go back to first base. Maybe you realize, hey, I don't have it right now. Let me put on the brakes and I'll head back. But he wanted to push it. He wanted to pursue, and Odubel Herrera made a really nice play. I mentioned Andrew Knapp throwing him out. Well, Andrew Knapp also got hit in the balls pretty damn good with the foul tip. You're talking square in the nuts. I could feel the pain watching him suffer. And also I mentioned Alec Boehm, who applied the tag in the ninth inning when Hector Neris was on the bump, who had a very good inning. Corey Dickerson did come up with a man on base, and he did get worried for just a half a second that maybe there was going to be some drama, even though Hector, for the most part, he had a nasty splitter in there. It wasn't that scary. It wasn't a Hector Neris experience that you claim is Hector Headache Neris. It wasn't close to that by any means. In that ninth, though, Alec Boehm with an outstanding short hop, beautiful play with the glove hand, throws it over to Rhys Hoskins with patience, knowing that whoever was running was not fast, so he had time to set his feet and deliver the throw. So, you had defensive plays. So, Odubel, Alec Boehm. It's funny, when you make bad mistakes out there, the other team gets more chances. The innings stay alive. Your pitchers have to throw more pitches. When you don't make the mistakes, you have more winning baseball. Although, you can't rely on 2 hits and Vinny V going 6 innings and giving you 0 earned runs. If that's your recipe for success, that's a little scary. It's scary to think you just won this baseball game with their starting pitching going on the way that it did and with 2 hits. But, hey, sometimes baseball is a funny game. All right, we're going to rock the Anytime Hotline. The Anytime Hotline is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. They are home to your solar experts located in Mantua, New Jersey. If you're looking for solar energy systems, water purification systems, clean, healthy water for your family, backup energy storage, battery storage, tree removals, electrical upgrades, you name it, Orbit Energy and Power is phenomenal. They can do so much for your home. You can call them at 800-836-3987. That's 800-836-3987. And you can speak with one of their team members or visit their website, orbitenergy.us. All right, let's hear from you about this game.
Was that really Vince Velasquez? Is this real life, man? I cannot believe that just happened. As an offense, 2 hits all we need. Watch Aaron Nola blow up tomorrow. This team is that insane. Great stream earlier today, though, bros. I'm out.
Thank you. Yes, we streamed over on Twitch, and you can follow me at twitch.tv/Brodes_media. And every Tuesday and Wednesday at 4 p.m. here on the East Coast, I will go live playing MLB The Show, hanging out, relaxing, or playing Call of Duty. So that's what the caller was referencing. So I appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Yeah, the Aaron Nola thing is what it is. It's really bad, and at some point, I do anticipate seeing him get out of this little funk that he's in. I would expect him to get back to, I'm a big back of the baseball card guy. So when you see the back of the baseball card and you see just around, and I'm just spitballing, a 3.50 ERA-ish, I expect him to be in that range. That's not elite. That's not dynamite. That's not the best we've ever seen, but it is pretty solid, and it can win you a lot of baseball games. You need Aaron Nola to get back on track if you're going to want to compete with an Atlanta Braves, with a New York Mets, even though I'm not claiming that these two teams are lighting the world on fire. But if you can't survive on Chase Anderson, on these back-end rotation pieces. You need your Zach Wheelers, which he's been very, very good. You need your Aaron Nolas. You need those. You need to grab those wins. It's not always on the pitchers. This offense has been so night and day. This offense has been so poor to watch, and they haven't been able to string together a bunch of hits and score a lot of runs except for one time in an eighth inning that was very explosive and one of the most memorable innings of the season. Other than that, you really haven't had that big-time kaboom of exciting offense, and I don't know if you're going to get it with the lineup I spit at you with Matt Joyce, Andrew Knapp, a little bit of Nick Maton cooling off. I don't expect to see it. So you have to hold yourself above water. And how do you do that? Well, this is when Aaron Nola coming up large is extremely beneficial and something that, quite frankly, you need to get.
Bro, this team is so weird. We just won a game with 2 hits and Vince Velasquez pitching 6 innings and none. If those are the games that we're going to win this year, the Phillies are going to win 65 games. I don't know. One time you can get Velasquez to pitch well on the night where you only have 2 hits, but most of the time, this team doesn't hit well, this team doesn't pitch well. So I'm so off Velasquez. I promised myself I will not get sucked back into seeing the upside of Vince Velasquez.
I think we all said that. I'll be honest. And I think we're back in it. But let's be fair here, all right? I'm going through his game log. You know me. Brodes, the game log guy. No one's ever called me that, and I don't know why that came out of my mouth. This has been different, though. All right, we've been sucked into Vince Velasquez before, but this Vince Velasquez is truly something different. It really is. Now, I'm not telling you this is sustainable forever, but I'm just saying in terms of all of his other stretches that we have gotten sucked into, he has put it together the most consistently that we have seen it. Now, I want to look up, I know Rob Motti had some quotes from Vince Velasquez specifically after the game, and he said that, over the season, I matured a little bit. I believed in myself. I had a couple mental coaches help me out. Now, we talk about Carter Hart and the mental side of the game and how he has been developing. Now, this year has been a little bit of a weird one for him, but prior to that, he has had a sports psychiatrist. He's been looking through a sports psychologist. He's been really into the mental side of the game, and that's one of the reasons he's called up at 20 years old and produced the way that he did produce in his better seasons with the Flyers and throughout his junior career, his World Junior career. There's something to be said about the mental side of this, and I think that's playing a huge role in where Vince Velasquez is. This offseason, I committed to myself, started tunneling some stuff, sequencing, and knew exactly how good my stuff actually plays. I think that Vince Velasquez, and I know, I'm with you, and really, I feel foolish doing this because I told myself a billion times, like we all did, I'm not getting sucked into Vinny V. Eventually, he might have a hiccup along the way. So just because one hiccup, if he does 5 or 6 of these games, has a hiccup, I don't think it's fair to just say, oh, back to normal. We'd have to see what the response is to that adversity because every pitcher has a bad day. Zach Wheeler will have a bad day. DeGrom, maybe not him. Garrett Cole might have a bad day. And his bad day might be 12 strikeouts but allowing 3 earned runs. But, yeah, everyone has their version of a bad day. This Vinny V thing, though, besides the 16 strikeout game, we've never seen this style of Vinny V for this amount of games of strong play and the patience and the poise on the mound. I'll give everyone a pass. I think it's okay to. And not to get blown away. 4th pitcher. If that's why you're saying 4th pitcher, I mean, we're not going ridiculous here. We're not saying Vinny V is now your ace or your number 2 or your number 3. We're saying, yeah, you know what? Vinny V might have earned himself this 4 or 5 role. I don't think that's like ridiculous expectations or ridiculous getting sucked into. I think it's reasonable to say right now. Now, once again, I'm not saying that is it. I'm not saying 100%. We 1,000% need to say this is exactly who he's going to be. But I do think it's unfair to him to pretend like this mini stretch that he's on doesn't matter at all either because I think there is a little bit to it. There's a lot in with DraftKings Sportsbook, though. It's playoff time. Big stakes, bigger promotions. DraftKings Sportsbook is putting you courtside with the chance to turn $5 into $200. That's 40-1 odds on any basketball game. All you have to do is pick any team that is still in the hunt for the trophy. If that team wins, you receive $200 in free credits. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code Brodes when you sign up to turn $5 into $200 in free credits. Bet on the basketball team of your choice to win their next game, and if you do, you can claim $200 in free credits. That's promo code Brodes for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, new customers only. Wager paid out, in-site credits. Restrictions apply in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.